going to explain why that is. Obi knows. Please join me. How you doing, my brother? I'm fine. So the weekend must have been very interesting for you. I mean, Kaizer Chiefs look like they might have turned it around, only to draw 2-2. I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns were in a 7-goal thriller. It's been an interesting weekend.
It's been an interesting weekend if you look at all the leagues across, the world. Whether you're looking at a PSL, whether you're looking at a Bundesliga, it's been very interesting.
Ligue 1.
And bring it obviously to the PSL. We saw like two very high scoring games, like you just mentioned, Mamelodi Sundowns. They just finished their game against Amazulu. A very interesting affair there. We also had another affair in Cape Town, which saw Cape Town City also score 4 goals in that game. So it's been a very interesting weekend. Kaizer Chiefs. Need I say more?
Well, today I went to go watch Mamelodi Sundowns development side with Obi Knows. And the funny thing is the referee, because some of these games are we don't have a referee dressed up in the outsurance kit. We have a referee dressed up in anything he can bring to the game. And this referee just happened to come Kaizer Chiefs. So we said that Kaizer Chiefs has been reduced to reffing now, because what they're doing in the league is not very, very savory.
It's not football savvy.
It's not football savvy. So Stellenbosch played against Chippa United that ended 2-0. Then Golden Arrows and Kaizer Chiefs that ended 2-2 with Leonardo Castro hitting himself a little brace right there. Obi knows, can you tell us more? Because the man scores a brace. He scores in the 58th and the 65th minute. Then he's off to the bench. Talk to us about that.
Leonardo Castro is one of those players which I feel, a lot of people obviously feel that he shouldn't have come to Kaizer Chiefs in the first place. I think his time at Mamelodi Sundowns showed us the best of him, and him coming to Kaizer Chiefs is a bit of he's digressed in his career. We've seen what Nurkovic can actually do. A player who's got the type of physique that Castro has, but he's more mobile than Castro is. I think Kaizer Chiefs do miss Nurkovic a lot more, and Castro's just not, yes, he is getting the goals now and then, but I just don't think the Kaizer Chiefs faithful are very happy with the performances he gives week in, week out. He's a very stagnant player nowadays.
All right, so then Black Leopards took on Maritzburg United. Maritzburg actually traveling to go face Black Leopards. So at home, Black Leopards managed to get a 1-0 result against Maritzburg United. Eric Tinkler looking a very worried man as he can't get the points. But this man, Rodney got himself a goal. Obinos, talk to us about it.
Yep, Rodney Ramagalela also. A lot of Black Leopards fans should be actually happy with Ramagalela. I mean, he's making his second return to the, he's making his return to the club, making it his second stint in the club. Obviously, the first time he came onto our screens, he was playing for Letotatuva. And it's good to see him back, obviously, in Leopards colours. He did leave to join Mamelodi Sundowns. Like I always say, Mamelodi Sundowns buying players to disable teams. He didn't have a good season, a good campaign at Mamelodi Sundowns. Obviously, he had to leave. He joined Polokwane City. He also had a bit of a time in Durban with Golden Arrows. But right now, he's looking good. He's back he's back in his home colours. He is a vendor man, so he's back with his home colours.
Yes.
I think Arrows. I think Leopards will be very pleased that he has already got himself off on a good start.
All right.
I'm very shocked actually that I've never seen him joining the Bafana colours.
Obi knows, continue with the conspiracy theories about Mamelodi Sundowns and just signing players to destabilize other teams. So now let's move on. Orlando Pirates then faced Super Sports United that ended 2-1. And then Swallows invited TS Galaxy to their stadium. This game was a game where both sides couldn't take their chances. I mean, one chance that stands out for me is Wade Lekay, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. You're expecting him either to go around the keeper or to chip the keeper, and he goes for the latter. And after he goes for the latter, he doesn't put enough power behind the ball, and the ball actually gets cleared on the line. I watched that missed goal like 5 times. And one thing I came to see was that was just slightly off target.
Yeah, look, I think Wade Lekay, he's still trying obviously to get into his strides in the PSL. He already has a goal to his name against Amazulu in his first game. The game against Kaizer Chiefs, he could have scored the penalty that gave TS Galaxy a win there, since the game finished in a 0-0 stalemate.
Yeah.
And again, he is he's a suspect to another draw. He could have done better for his team. I mean, he's a trusted striker in the team. I mean, no one else plays besides him.
You know what? Intelligent runner. That's what I picked up. Very intelligent runner. Yes. His positioning is out of this world, but I feel like he needs to work on his finishing. He needs to be more brutal about it. He doesn't need to be apologetic about it. He mustn't try and make it look fancy. Look, if you're in that kind of position, be brutal. Hit it and hope for the best, because that's what we need in the PSL. We don't need, right now the problem with the PSL, one thing I've noticed about a lot of strikers is that we don't have conviction in our shots. We're trying to be smart. We're trying to be, sometimes just have conviction, hit the back of the net. We'll discuss everything else later on. So Cape Town City faced Bloem Celtic, and Obi knows very disappointed because Cape Town City won 4-2 against Bloem Celtic, and then Mamelodi Sundowns obviously in that 7-goal thriller with a 4-3 result at the end of the day. TTM hitting Poroka for 1 and getting themselves a win. Obi knows, can we go to the Superbets website? So don't forget to SMS Supa TV to 30978. Join in on the fun. Let's talk football. Let's put our money where our mouth is. And this is how the website looks like. And trust me, once you're here, there's a lot more specials going on. Obi knows we'll have to do the honors of logging in first. So once we're here, you go to log in, we say username. Obviously, we have accounts here. So we're looking for Mo Sports or Sports Mo. Super Mo there at the bottom. Obi knows that's the one. That's us. Let's log in. So today we're showing you how to start in the beginning. You know what I mean? You log in, and then once you're in, Obi knows is showing you the bonus. Once you've registered, you get yourself $50 in that bonus wallet. And then if we give you a call and we tell you, hey, you have won yourself, la 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 la, then you get that money in that bonus wallet over there. So Obi knows we're doing well for ourselves. For grade 95, we are moving upwards, and we're doing it big.
We're doing well.
We're doing it big.
After this, we can take it up to 5K. You never know.
Obi knows not playing with them. Obi knows, let's go to match info and see what's been happening in the PSL. So match info statistics. If you're Loma statistics, please don't say it Loma, because we see people now on social media saying, I don't want to be a statistic, but they end up going, I don't want to be a statistic. So make sure that you know the word before you're out here trying to make things or say things that you don't understand. Obi knows, wait, let's not go all the way down. Today, I want us to be very experienced. Go to the top, click on search. There. Where you were, here at the top. Then right? Yeah, same time. South Africa. There it is. Boom, let's see what happens when you do it this way. When you go fetch it. Oops. See. Sorry. Obi knows. Let's leave search alone. Clearly, search is telling us other stories. Go to the 3 lines where we know, where we have experience. Oops. So hurry guys. You must leak us sometimes. Obi knows we're going to Africa. Africa. Then we go all the way down from Africa. We go to South Africa, and we go. So this way is a shortcut. Oops. Oh, but no. Super stats. What's going on? I think maybe let's go all the way to the beginning. So Obi knows, please take down the website. I'm sorry for this one. That's my bad. And then let's let Obi knows resolve this, and then we'll come back right after this. So basically, before we go to the Bundesliga, I'm just going to chat to you about it. Well, the Bundesliga has been a very interesting one since the international break. Bayern Munich dropping points, and then Obi knows putting on his prediction hat, saying that, look, I know that Bayern Munich might have dropped points, but I do predict that Leipzig will also drop points, even though Bayern Munich, the team that dominates that league, has dropped points, and he was very correct. But Dortmund on the other side did not waste any of their chances, with Haaland doing the most right now in terms of the Dortmund conversation. Obi knows, let's join you here and see how it's going. Super Best is where we're at, and Obi knows finally got it fixed. You see what I was doing? Obi knows with all his infinite experience, he was like, let me fix it for you. So guys, here's another trend we should observe here today with the PSL, what's been going on. Obi knows, please don't scroll down or up, just leave it like that. Obi knows, do you realize that what happened with the international break in terms of African teams is now happening in the PSL? Just first fixtures after the international break. So home sides picked up the results, while if the home side couldn't pick up the results, it ended in a draw.
Yep. Once again, obviously, we saw in the international break all the African teams. Whether if you're playing home, you got either a win or a draw, and it was most likely a win in all of those games. Looking back, and now it's in the PSL. Look, the home teams, obviously, Stellenbosch, you did expect them to come away with the win in that.
Of course.
Arrows, I think a lot of people would have expected Kaizer Chiefs to win, but like I said, it's Kabechamo Chiefs, and that's exactly how it turned out. Black Leopards, they obviously wanted to, run over a team, Maritzburg side that hasn't got a win yet in this season, losing all 4 of their games. Pirates are taking a win, like I said, and he did actually come in and score. TS Galaxy and Swallows, look, both teams actually did have one-on-one opportunities.
True.
I thought Swallows would have, got the best of TS Galaxy. I did see the TS Galaxy goalkeeper didn't look very convincing in certain occasions, but nonetheless, he did
not convincing whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like another German goalkeeper you were saying that is very excellent, but also made some terrible mistake. Obi knows, can we go to the table? Because I can see here you're comfortable. We need to go to the leagues where some of these goalkeepers you've been, Obi knows, as a goalkeeper, you scare me sometimes. Because this week you were like, he's fire. Then next week, he's not fire. He's actually on fire. So let's start looking at how the league table looks at the moment. As you can see, number one sitting top and comfortable, Mamelodi Sundowns. So Obi knows went out and looked at the development side, trying to get his head around what is this coaching structure all about. And finally, Obi knows has an answer for us. So this is not today where he's going to give you the answer. Tomorrow he'll be breaking down exactly what does this coaching structure mean for Mamelodi Sundowns and why it's so pivotal and why it puts them at the top of the table like this. I mean, Obi knows this is a team that lost their coach to Al Ahly, but they're sitting on top of the table with no losses registered yet.
Like I did say, these coaches that are here, they've been part of the Mamelodi Sundowns story along with Peter Musimani from the beginning. And I didn't think they were going to change a lot in the philosophy. I thought maybe they might want to tweak a few things, bring in Steve Kompella to add a bit of, that experience in the coaching structures. And they're looking good. I didn't expect them to slip up. I actually think they're looking very good. They are still the team to beat in the PSL, obviously. And I'm not only talking about, the fact that they haven't lost, but every team that they're playing against will obviously want to beat them. And Sundowns just look like they have all the answers at the moment.
But Swallows also joining them in the teams that don't drop points this season so far. Pirates also hasn't dropped points this season so far. Golden Arrows and TS Galaxy also haven't dropped points, but it's been draws all the way. 3 draws and 1 win for both those teams. They're sitting on 6 points. But if you look lower down in the table, let's see who's struggling very early on in the season. Maritzburg United are stressing everybody out because they have not registered a draw or a win. They've registered just clean, straight losses. They've conceded 7 while only putting 2 behind at the back of the net. And it's not working for them because they goal difference now sits at -5. They're the only team right now in the league that has not put points on the table. So don't miss it tomorrow, as Obi knows will be giving us a masterclass on how Mamelodi Sundowns is doing it. I mean, from rumors that I've heard, Mamelodi Sundowns might be poised to dominate this league table for a while. So don't go anywhere. I'm just going to come back and we'll be talking about what's happening in German football. All right, so let's carry on to see what's happening in Germany. Obi knows looking a little bit disappointed, but let's travel to the SuperBets website and see what's happening in Germany. So Obi knows in Germany, what's going on over there? I heard that there's results that shook everybody. And this is the Bayern Munich results, or what happened later on? Because here, Obi knows, you put on your how do we say it? Do we say Oppositie? Oppositie as Sion, boy.
Almost inevitable. Bayern Munich taking a draw. Every other team, except for Leverkusen, because they managed, and Dortmund, they managed to close up the spaces. But Leipzig had the opportunity to jump straight up to the top, and they didn't win the game. They drew against Frankfurt, which is not a terrible result in introspect.
I hear you saying all these things. Why are you not taking credit for your prediction, though?
Look, I'd like to take all the credit for the prediction.
You know why I say take credit for your prediction? You said it with so much experience, because you said it on the show, first of all. You said, look, I know Bayern Munich drop points, but I know that these teams that are behind Bayern Munich are going to drop points too. They won't be able to take advantage of it. And that's exactly what happened with Leipzig.
It is exactly what happened with Leipzig, but it doesn't give me, a great feeling, because they're proving me right in something that I would have really loved to be wrong in. Because we're tired of seeing Bayern Munich lifting the trophy. I mean, you should be able to give Bayern Munich the competition they need. I mean, you're spending so much money. I mean, you're a new team, and you've got so great players in that team. And, give us something. Compete.
Well, Obi knows, all I'll say is that we did say they're a top 3 side. And this proves that they are a top 3 side. They don't have ambitions of going any higher, because this would have been a great opportunity for them to actually close up the gap. And Dortmund took that opportunity against Hertha. And Obi knows, as much as we know that a 4:30 Freiburg versus Mainz took place, I would like us to click on this game also, Cologne and Union Berlin, so we can see what's happening in that game currently, what's unfolding in terms of the score, before we go talk about what happened at Dortmund. So as you can see, 60 minutes played, and it's still at 0-0. Obi knows, if you do me the honors of going back to the fixture list so we can see what happened with the Dortmund game, because Obi knows agalali, guys. Go to fixtures, please, not the table. Fixtures. Obi knows agalali, guys. Let's go down. Obi knows last night, 1 a.m., Obi knows is like, whoa! Erling Haaland, bro! So as you can see, at halftime, it was 1-0. So if you put your money on Hertha Berlin to win the first half, you would have gotten some change in your pocket. But the second half, emphatic in the way the game unfolded. 5 goals for Dortmund they put into the back of the net in the second half, ending the game at 5-2. But look at how the position stats looked. Obi knows will take us through the event, as this was one of the things he pointed out to say, guys, Are you seeing this Erling Haaland boy? So as you can see, Dortmund with 11 attempts on goal, 8 of them on target, and just 3 of them off target. This is a team that Obi knows. This shows precision. You took 11 shots, and 8 of those shots were on target.
Yeah, it does show that, you know, this is a team that is obviously it's been gelling in the past few weeks. I mean, they've got some very young talent in there that we'll showcase in a few minutes. But nonetheless, they are looking very good. They're looking very fluid. They score goals for fun. For fun, you know. I don't know what else to say about Erling Haaland at this point, but they're looking incredibly well.
I saw a whole Boo video. If you've watched Dragon Balls, you know who Boo was. There's a whole Boo video dedicated to Erling Haaland with that kid in the stadium with the yellow wall, and he's just. This is exactly what people feel about this boy. But what stresses me out when you're looking at the stats is what's happening on the other side. The opposition had 6 attempts, 4 of them on target, 2 of them. I mean, out of the 4, 2 were goals. So basically, they need to work on that. But Obi knows, please go to the bottom of the events, talk us through it, because most definitely this, I gotta give you this, because you saw this coming. You've been saying it about this boy. You've been saying that Erling Haaland is something special and one for the future.
Yeah, he's definitely one for the future. I mean, like, if you are watching football, you definitely do know something about Erling Haaland. I mean, at the beginning of the game, in the 33rd minute, obviously, we see Matthias Cunha getting a goal for Hertha Berlin. Ending it in the first half, obviously, it was 1-0 to Hertha Berlin. And just immediately after the break, Erling Haaland.
And look whose assist that is.
Emre Can, obviously, he's the third centre back in this team, since Dortmund play with the 3 centre backs at the back. Julian Brandt, who was given a start ahead of Reina, ahead of Jadon Sancho, and he was given a start, and obviously by the looks of it, he paid off. Yes, that did pay off. We saw Jude Bellingham coming on in the second half for Mahmoud Dahoud. We saw also Erling Haaland scoring his 3rd goal of the game in the 62nd minute.
So hat-trick, and then Guerrero gets that goal. Let's go to the top and see where he gets his last goal. He gets his last goal in the 79th minute.
Right after Matthias Cunha got his 2nd goal of the game.
All right, Obi knows. Can you please take us to the table? Because now you need to understand this man scored 4 goals in 25 minutes.
He did. He scored 4 goals in 25 minutes, and 4 goals that actually make sure that he covers Robert Lewandowski on the score sheet. I mean, when they were playing against each other, when it was Dortmund playing against Bayern Munich, there was a 5-goal difference between the two of them.
Haaland was like,
right now there's just 1 goal.
Just the 1 goal. And as you can see, in terms of the table, the discussion has now changed. Now Bayern Munich are sitting on 6 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, putting them at number 1 with 19 points. But Dortmund not far behind, alongside Leverkusen, who are both on 18 points, 17 points for Leipzig, standing at number 4, number 5 and number 6, Union Berlin and Wolfsburg sitting at 17 and 14 points respectively. So as you can see, the top of the table looking quite familiar in German football, except Leipzig dropping out of the top 3 into the top 4, which means that if they stay there for the rest of the season, they will still enjoy European football in terms of the Champions League. But Obi knows, if you do have a second, can you please just scroll to the bottom of the table while we prepare to see what's going on? So Obi knows would like to talk about the attacking options from Dortmund. Obi knows time was also affected. I don't think you think we don't have enough time. We can save that for tomorrow because the time is not on our side. As you can see, Schalke sitting on 3 points, 3 draws for them, no wins registered. They stand alongside Cologne, who are playing right now with no wins picked up. But as you can see, they're both sitting on 3 points. Schalke has already dropped their 3 points, and Cologne has a game in hand. So if Cologne gets a result in this game, Schalke, you're going to be very lonely there at the bottom, 1 point behind Mainz and Bielefeld. So hopefully Schalke can pick up their act. Maybe, I don't know, they've even changed coaches, so I don't think it's a coaching problem. I think more of a systematic problem. So all we can say is that there's nothing else we can do. We'll be back right after this.
The money versus probability.
I made $200 now.
What's the score? Like, it seems like she just actually caught up.
This is about the money.
Some of us who went to school.
Yes.
Probability.
Do you use probability?
Yes. Probability.
Like, stop it.
Probability. You're using probability. Yeah, probability. Then. Yeah.
Or do you use the money?
Oh my God, that is so sad. that is hilarious. Give me 100 rand.
Did you do statistics?
100
Yeah.
on home.
Support on the love.
And I have 150.
She's
This
winning.
is about the money.
She's on respect.
5,650.
How about both?
Probability dictates. Probability dictates.
Okay.
It shall be away.
1,000 on the way.
Watch us play Football Studio on Supa TV, channel 150 on OpenView, or use your own probability when you SMS Supa TV to 30978. Supa TV, let's play.
Now imagine if Obi knows was a coach, and this is his plan. Speed. Coach, he has speed. Coach, he can trap. Does he have speed?
Maka, you play with the false nine and you put the ball behind the defenders for your wingers, you are gone.
So this is basically Obino's strategy. That's Alexandra Pato in one. Let's go straight to La Liga and see what's been happening in Spain. Real Madrid failed to pick up a win, although they are the defending champions and they should be running this race from the front. Sociedad is doing that for them because they are not picking up the points that are needed. As you can see, they drew against Villarreal. It was a 1-1 result. Obinos, do you think that the loss of Sergio Ramos has a lot to do with this?
I think either way. I mean, maybe if Sergio Ramos was there, he could have scored for them. You know, he could have scored for them. But nonetheless, I didn't get a chance to actually pay attention to how the partnership between Rafael Varane and Nacho was actually. But I'm pretty sure, you know, looking at the way the game ended, it was probably tight. Possibly a goal that went through was a mistake from the midfield, maybe not at the back.
You know what's quite tragic about the situation right now? Varane has been in the side for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? But in your head, he still strikes you as an unexperienced centre back because he's always overshadowed by Sergio Ramos' presence. And that's what's killing football right now. Players that are senior players that have all the experience, that have all the accolades, all the trophies, are overshadowed by these big names that are just don't want to leave the game. Go to America. Do something.
I mean, like, I actually agree very much with what you're saying. I mean, PK was never under the shadow of Puyol.
In fact, he was being mentored by Puyol.
And you could see it because they pretty much shared the same amount of responsibilities on the field. You know, at times you obviously see Puyol scoring a header up front. You'd see PK scoring a header. You'd usually see Puyol giving PK the chance to act, because Puyol was very much a defender who would spend a lot of time on the ground.
And he was very vocal.
Making tackles, yes. So he would give PK the chance to actually, you know, to move around at the back and make sure that everything is stable at the back. So he would stay while Puyol was a sweeper. And I think Ramos is just, I don't know, he just wants to do everything for the team.
Ramos is yonke insipho yawasha ngoRamos, yonke insipho yawasha ngoRamos. The sunlight, green bar yawasha ngoRamos. Ramos is everywhere on the pitch. If we look at that, what's happening later on tonight, this game is kicking off in about 6 minutes time. Granada versus Valladolid, and then Alvarez versus Valencia. Obinos, do you think the Las Murciélagos? Do you think do you think they have what it takes to take on Alvarez and take the result home?
Look, they're one of the most inconsistent sides over the years, and I'd really like to see them taking away the points, but I think Alvarez is going to make it a bit tough for them. I think it might just end up in a draw. I mean, they do get the occasional goal. Either it's going to be through Mexico, Mez. It could be through their youngster in Musa, but, you know, we wait and see. But I really think Alvarez will hold out for a point in this game.
All right, Obinos, speaking facts. So let's see what's happening on Monday. As you can see, Athletic Bilbao taking on Real Betis to wrap up this round of fixtures. But most of the fixtures at the top of the table have taken place, so we can go check what's happening at the top of the table, because Real Sociedad got themselves a result. Atletico Madrid got themselves a result against Barcelona. By the way, Obinos, Ter Stegen, what was he thinking there?
I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was doing. He was pulling a Neuer. And that's the thing that hurt me the most, because I was having this argument with you about Ter Stegen being a better shot stopper than Neuer is, which I believe he is.
He is.
Which I believe he is. But that decision just actually proved that it's not only shot stopping that goes into the goalkeeping.
You see the super keeper thing that Neuer made very popular. Now people expect German goalkeepers, and a lot of goalkeepers now are being signed basically because of their footwork, not really how they save.
Yeah.
And now coaches are actually forcing these goalkeepers to want to be more versatile, take more risks. Because I remember when Alisson just got signed to Liverpool, he had a chance where they passed him the ball, the defender was approaching, and then he chipped that ball over the defender. So now it's getting a lot of goalkeepers to think that I need to be a semi-outfield player while I'm still a goalkeeper, and that's kind of making the whole spectrum of football right now very, very tricky. And that what happened last night? He goes in for that tackle, and I swear to you, Carrasco didn't do it. Carrasco waited for him. Like, you do what you're gonna do. I hope that you miss it and I'll take the shot. And what happened was it hit his toe, but it went underneath him. So
I think, like you say, goalkeeping, it can't remain the same because, you have teams like Liverpool, for example, they press very high. You find your centre backs almost at the middle of the park.
yeah,
So-
or on the other half.
Yeah, on the other half. So, as a goalkeeper, you need to make sure that if there's a route one situation and you're playing against a team like Leicester City, you have a fast Jamie Vardy who's coming in behind through the defense. You really have to close up that, that space. And I think the super keeper is a very much needed type of position in the game. So I think it's just a matter of goalkeepers needing to adapt to the fact that, as a goalkeeper, your feet work has to be just as important as it is for midfielders and defenders.
Yeah, as you can see, Real Sociedad occupy that number one spot. But if Atletico Madrid pick up the 2 wins that they have, basically the two games they have in hand, if they pick up those 2 wins, they end up with 26 points, basically above Real Sociedad. So Real Sociedad is occupying the number one spot solely based on the games that have been played. But right now, Atletico Madrid have an advantage of 2 games they haven't played. Hopefully, they're both wins and they can come above Real Sociedad. Real Madrid sitting in 70 with 17 points on the table. They have 1 game in hand. So even if they were to get a win, they'll still be 3 points behind Real Sociedad. So they kind of now need to start picking up their games before they play that game in hand and they still find themselves under Sociedad. So if you look at the conversation up there, the conversation is quite clear because Atletico Madrid have 2 games in hand. They have 20 points. Sociedad have 10 games, and if Atletico Madrid get 2 wins, it's 6 points, automatically going straight to number 1. So that's what's happening at the top of the table. Let's go to the bottom of the table, take a look, take a glance. Oh, we know my favorite team is over there, boy. You cover Huesca, boy.
Yeah, I see them, but they just jumped back into the relegation zone after a game.
It's not about jumping out of the relegation zone. It's about staying in the game. Guys, one day we'll do game theory and I'll explain what makes me so excited about this team. This team is an example of sometimes if you don't have the quality to take on the big giants, like Jet Li once said, be water, my friend. The Chinese, okay, let me not go into the literature. Let's talk about football. As you can see, Huesca not registering a win yet, but they have 7 points on the board solely from just draws. They have not picked up a win. It's 7 draws, 7 losses, 3 losses for them. They have not won whatsoever, but they are above Celta de Vigo and Valladolid, who both have 1 win underneath their name. So Obi knows, this for me is like, wow, woo. Yeah?
Yeah, they're actually the only team in the league to have not got a win so far, and they're still not at the bottom. They're just chilling literally on 18th place, all due to
goal difference. And as you can see, Valladolid play on later on. So if they lose, Huesca is just chilling there, hoping that one of these two, Alvarez or Levante, also to pick up L so they can jump out of the relegation zone. So that's what's happening in Spain. As you can see, Huesca showing us all about game theory. Sometimes when you get into a league and it's your first season and all these big teams have big budgets, you don't need to sign the best strikers, the best midfielders. All you need to do is stay in the conversation. So let's take a little time. When we come back, we travel all the way to France and see what's happening in Ligue 1. Safige France, you know what they say, Peri, Obinos?
Oui, oui.
We eat the noodle later on. Let's move on to the Superbets website and let's go talk about what's happening with League. And Obinos, is there any live match trackers taking place today?
Yes, there is, sir. Let's take a
Alright.
look at what's going on in the live match tracker right now.
All right, let's go to the running games. Let's start scrolling down and see what's popping. As you can see, it's Angers and Lyon who are currently playing. And don't forget, at the start of the season, the conversation around Lyon's star striker going to Barcelona was very, very prominent. And now he's still playing for that team. As you can see, Union Berlin taking the lead against Hertha. And is it Union Berlin versus Cologne? So Union Berlin picking up a 1 goal against Cologne. So the markets are still available. You can still put your money where your mouth is. You can still bet on a home, a draw, or a away win. You can still put your money on goals this game having goals or this game not having any goals, you can scroll all the way down and you can choose the segment of time in which the goal will come. So basically, you can say a goal will come maybe between the 45th minute and the 75th minute, or you can still put your money on the correct score and say it's going to be a 1-0, 2-0, 3-1. You can still do that. So the markets are available. Doesn't mean that the game is kicked off. You can't put your money where your mouth is. This is an active live game, so you can also be active and move your money around and be like, hey, no man, the away side is going to score the next goal. And if that happens, you get yourself instant payout. So now Obi knows, can you scroll all the way to League 1 and see what's happening over there? Because the Premier League is upon us. We need to start discussing certain people that I have problems with, Obi knows.
Ooh, my boy, you have a problem.
Obi knows, I'm a penyenye one way.
You like to quarrel.
No, I'm a penyenye one way, Obi knows. Angeke so win league I'm a penyenye.
But it's been happening since last season. I don't know why you complain.
No, mara ngeke boy, I'm a penyenye. Mawimisa bathi phinda futhi mzala. No. Obi knows. No, it's not right. So as you can see, the results from Friday include that Monaco win over PSG, unexpected from nowhere. And if you put your money on Monaco, you could have gotten a crazy cash payout. Don't forget that we looked at PSG's last season record and they stayed at number 1 from day 1
The entire
till
season.
the last day.
Entire season.
This is an example. This league is basically an example of the haves and the have-nots, the gap between the wealthy and the poor, because PSG are just sitting at the top of the mountain. Like whoever we sign, we can sign Cavani.
It's crazy because if you know something about French history, you know about the French Revolution. When, the peasants actually overthrew King Louis and his wife, Marie Antoinette.
So now we should maybe start a French Revolution here when Montpellier and Nîmes and Lens and Dijon, Obi knows.
That can only happen on manager mode, my guy.
Obi knows saying that can only happen in manager mode. Let's see what the results are looking like today. So Obi knows, can you scroll down? Let's see how it's looking today. As you can see, Nantes and Metz played off to a 1-1 draw. If you put your money on that game, you would have gotten yourself times 3.20 cents. Montpellier versus Strasbourg. As you can see, the odd makers were correct in this one. Montpellier picking up that deserved win. And then Nîmes versus Reims. Obi knows you could have made the money because that result went the wrong direction, and you could have made yourself £4.45. And then Dijon versus Lens ended with a Lens win, which the odd makers were saying, obvious. So Angers and Lyon are playing right now. As you saw when you came to the live match tracker, that game is still on a 0-0. And Lille and Lorient are playing later on tonight at 10 p.m. Obi knows, can we see the table before we have to move on to the Serie A? So right, this is what's happening in the table. As you can see, PSG have played 11 games. They've won 8. They've drawn none of their games. No draws whatsoever. PSG is either hot or cold. I'm going to lukewarm. There's no lukewarm. And as you can see, they've won 8, drew a lost 3, and look at how many goals they've scored. 28 goals they've scored. That's more than anyone else in the league, while they're sitting with 6 goals conceded. Obi knows it's a
farmers league, say it.
No, I can't say that, Obi knows. Hey, farmers can play soccer too.
Farmers good market. What is it called? Farmers goods market. It's that one here, boy. Farmers.
As you can see, Monaco sitting in second with 20 points on the table. They managed to beat PSG, making up a few points, but look at where they sit. They sit in second, 4 points behind the league leaders, PSG. Montpellier sitting in third, also with 20 points. So 2 teams actually chasing down PSG. Let's see, maybe this season might be the season where PSG actually sees a little bit of trouble from these teams below them. Lille haven't kicked off yet, but they're sitting at 19 points. If they can pick up that win, Obi knows, they go up to 22 points, and they are applying real pressure on PSG. But let's see what's happening at the bottom of the table, because as usual, I'm worried about Dijon. Dijon, 11 games played, no win registered, 4 draws, 7 losses. They've only scored 5 goals so far in 11 games, and they've conceded a whole 20 goals. That is a sign of problems to come if they've not arrived just yet.
Look, I said it already. I've said it so many times, countless times. These guys are gone.
We know, saying they're already delegated. Well, that's all we have for you in terms of what's happening in French football. We'll have to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about what's happening in Italy, then move on to England, where I have a little quarrel with all these penalties that Manchester United are getting. Don't go anywhere. You're still watching More Sports. Rebuile taba e monate. Now we have to travel to Italy, the home of drip drip, the home of Entwana bona ke releng Entwana mana ba dlala hape ha o tsebe dilo tse di tsamaya jwang. Let's go all the way to Serie A and see what's popping. Obi knows superbest.co.za. Let's see how it's going over there. Obi knows, how do you do this? Chiki, you don't even on the website, chiki, boom, the fixtures, but it's fine. Let's not reveal trade secrets. Obi knows the magician out here. Ever ready, Power Plus. As you can see, Lazio picking up a win early in this round of fixtures against Crotone. Juventus making sure they don't make any mistakes against Cagliari. Ronaldo getting himself one hell of a brace. Guys, can someone talk to Morata about his offsides? You know, when he has to assist, he assists, it's a goal, and then it's an offside. Morata, can someone please talk to you about your offside? It was an assist, Obi knows. He was not the goal scorer.
Hey, dude,
but he was offside.
Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him about those things? Because his coach says he's a complete player. He's his own coach.
Shorty touch, as you can see, Fiorentina losing out to Benevento. Don't forget that they have Frank Ribery in their stable, Fiorentina, but they managed not to score a goal. That amazes me how they're not getting their goals behind the net. Sampdoria faced Bologna. That was a surprise result. As you can see, the odds were slightly in Sampdoria's favor, but as you can see, it was just a 4 cents difference between the two teams, and Bologna picking up a 2-1 win at the end of the day. Roma took on Parma, and look at the odds. If Parma had picked up the result, it was at 6 rand 60 cents. So the bookmakers here were so spot on, it's not even a joke. Inter Milan versus Torino, the bookmakers were also spot on with this one. As you can see, the odds were increasingly just in Inter's favor. Obi knows must have clicked on this just to show me that his star striker got a goal. Obi knows, let's go to the events. I think that's where you wanted, what you wanted to show me again. Show me, Obi knows.
I wanted to show you. I just wanted us to go through and see, how actually
the result came about.
Yes, sir.
So as you can see, Zaza scored a goal just on the cusp of halftime, and then let's go up and see who else got a goal. So basically, at this point, they were trailing 2-0 when Christian put a penalty behind the net, and then let's go up. Romelu Lukaku assisting Alexis Sanchez. Basically, there was a United combination here, former United combination taking place, and as you can see, made the score 2-1. And then they connected again. This time, Alexis Sanchez providing the assist, while Romelu Lukaku doing what he does best and just banging the back of the net. Substitutions took place. Ivan Perisic came on for Ashley Young, and Lukaku got himself a penalty, and that put him on a brace. So we know is now celebrating because his star striker is doing the things, and as you can see, 4-2 is how it ended after Lukaku put another. Huh?
I just really need to say that all these 4 goals had something to do with Romelu.
Romelu is a beast, right? He's a beast. But the teams he's played for don't feel like it because they got nothing for it. All they got was this big guy who was pushing people around, and he was getting his goals, but we weren't getting our trophies. Come on, Romelu. But as much as I would like to hate on him on this one, I mean, 4 goals and you got 2 assists and you got 2 goals. Even haters can't hate here.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna say something about big strikers, scoring goals but not the important ones and not winning trophies.
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is,
let's tell me about R9. It's just as useless. R9.
Erling Haaland. Ronaldo.
The number 9.
CR9. Oh, the number 9. No, he was a journeyman. Let's go to the fixtures. That man was a journeyman. That one, no. There's no jersey that he's not photoshopped. There was no Photoshop at that time. But Google him and see how many jerseys he's been in. As you can see, Sassuolo sitting at number 1 right now with 18 points on the table. They've played 8 games. They've won 5, drawn 3, and they've not picked up a loss. Joining AC Milan also, AC Milan has not picked up a loss yet. They've played 7. They have a game in hand over Sassuolo. And if they get themselves the 3 points, baby boy, they go to 20 points. As you can see, Roma, Juventus in the Champions League spots, but Juventus sitting on 16 points, while Roma is sitting on 17 points. This is actually very scary for Juventus because they are trying to get their 10th title in a row. So, Obido, the whole decade of dominance, and you're starting the season with an inexperienced coach, and you with a CR7 who's injured, sometimes available, Dybala nowhere to be found, and you're sitting at number 4, and you're striking with a Morata who's forever offside. Well, do you think that maybe this season we see a change in the Scudetto?
Look, I think if Juventus management came into the season expecting to come out with the big silver, which is the Scudetto.
The Scudetto, yeah.
It would be a bit of an unrealistic feat for them. I mean, one thing they can at least say is keep us in the top 4. That's all they could have asked for, because right now, look, we've been complaining.
Oh, we don't say it.
We've been complaining about Roma. Roma they had a bad start to the season, obviously, you know. But right now, the momentum is picking up, and look where they are now. They are sitting ahead of Juve. I mean,
With just
Juve-
the point.
with just the point.
And if you
Juve,
look,
yes,
if you look at, sorry,
credit to Juve, they haven't lost a game as yet. But you know, draws also they don't
Four-
really get
four-
you to the top of the table. Look at, I mean, Milan win a game today, they go straight to 20, like you said, and that's a 5-point
That
gap.
is a gap.
It's a 4-point gap.
But if you look at what's happening with Juventus, they've scored 17 goals and conceded 6, which is not a good look for them. Obinos, can you see the bottom of the table before we have to move on and talk about the EPL? I just want us to have time for the EPL today, Obinos. I want us to talk about what's happening with it. I'm very emotional about what's happening in the EPL, Obinos, and I need a chance to talk about it. As you can see at the bottom of the league, it looks like Crotone put on 2 points, while Udinese have 4 points, and Torino sitting on 5. And 5 points, basically, Genoa still in trouble, Parma still in trouble, and Fiorentina still in trouble. But Benevento is also in trouble. But with the league season going towards the 9th round, maybe this might change here at the bottom. But for Crotone, something drastically needs to happen, because if they don't pick up the next 3 points, they will definitely be trailing by more than just 4 points. So now let's go out and get ready to go to the Premier League. Obinos will have to prepare a live match tracker for us, because we definitely want to see what's happening again with Leeds versus Arsenal. So let me take a deep breath, and when I come back, we're going to be straight going to the EPL. So now let's go all the way to England, the land of fish and chips. You want? Let's talk guys. Sometimes I'll to budget low, or I have a raw the chips in I get blind plus Coca-Cola. All we know is he's scrolling down looking for the fixture. I don't think it'll be all the way down there. I think it's a game of interest. It should be at the top. I think it should be at the top, because it's one of those big games. You see Serie A is here, France is there, England Premier League, there we go. So that's how easy it is. Once you're in a live match tracker, all the other live match trackers available are here on the side. Obinos, can you open it up and see what's going on in this game currently? As you can see, it's still 0-0, halftime, the score was 0-0, 58 minutes played, and as you can see, no goals just yet. Obinos, I'm worried. Shouldn't at least Arsenal be putting a goal behind Leeds?
Look, Leeds are back to their obviously full best. I say this because, you know, we saw the return of Calvin Phillips in that midfield, stabilizing a little bit. You also got Pablo Hernandez also pulling the strings in that midfield as well. So they are looking pretty good. You might, you know, expect to see, you might expect to see something coming out for Leeds in this game, whether it's a draw or win. You know, it's here. It's neither here or there. But at the moment, Arsenal, they're still not looking very confident. Willian, as always, as you know, Willian, he'll do so great in beating a man, you know, leading up to a cross. And then once he hits a cross, it hits the first man. You know, he never gives you a successful cross. And that's one of the problems that Arsenal are facing at this moment. The biggest crisis that they have right now is that their striker isn't scoring goals. He only has 1 goal, that 1 goal which he scored, obviously, in the beginning of the season against Fulham. That's the
Who's
only
this?
goal. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So, yeah, it's not looking pretty good for him at this moment.
I think Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is suffering from that BMT. Like, in the big games, in the finals, he will get you the goal. But in the regular league games throughout the season, you need to count on somebody else to carry us through. And one thing I will say is Brentford has had a great start to the season so far, because he's been a killer striker. He's been a killer player for this side, because Brentford, last round, the round before, has been banging them. Like, Obi knows, if I'm to predict a goal here, I'm going to say that goal is going to come for Leeds, just because purely based on Brentford's form before the international break. But we don't know how the international break affected Brentford and how he will come into this game. Another key factor that Obi knows mentioned that you need to remember is that both Kevin Phillips and Pablo Hernandez are featuring in this game, and that's basically it. In those two men is Leeds' defense and Leeds' attack. Simply those two pivotal players can change the direction of this game. And right now, Arsenal are a team in transition. They're a team that's building up, that's trying to find their feet. They were trying to build around Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but they still have a lot of components that are not playing to the kind of football that makes Aubameyang flourish. So you do expect them to struggle in games like this, because they'll play against the big team and they'll be able to exploit it. But a team with structure, discipline, and it plays like there's no individual star here. We're playing as a team, we're playing as a unit, we defend as a unit, we have all the men behind the ball, and that's going to be difficult to break down for Arsenal. And Arsenal right now are lacking a player who can break down teams from deep, and this team will play a mid-block, so definitely it's going to be difficult for Arsenal to break it down. While on the other side, Leeds, I believe, with the players that they have, Pablo Fernandes on the side, in the side, Brentford also in the side, this is definitely going to be a difficult game for Arsenal. If not a draw, I just think Arsenal might have to edge it with a lucky goal, or Leeds will just take it hands down. Obi knows is just shaking his head. Obi knows. Any last comments before we go to the fixtures?
Look, if anything, I'd really like to see Mikel Arteta getting it right. I was looking at some stats this morning, and I actually realized that Unai Emery had more amounts of wins than Arteta did at this point of time. And I think, if anything, we have seen an improvement from the way that Arsenal play, but clearly it's not reflecting in the results. So, it's a question of what are Arsenal's expectations at the moment. Are they looking for, a team that's going to obviously compete, and competing, compete for the top four?
Yeah.
Or are they looking just to build? Maybe, spend another season in Europa League. I don't know.
If I was to say, Obi knows and answer your question, I think they want to build. Because even if you look at the stats, Leeds has 60% of the possession. Leeds has more shot attempts on 9. And Arsenal, the bigger side, respectively, in this fixture, only have 6 attempts at goal. 1 attempt was on target for Arsenal, while Leeds at least have 2 on target. So basically, this is a team where you can see that a lot of structures going into the defense, not a lot of chances being given away, a lot of shots being taken from outside the box. And Obi knows, can you travel to the fixture so we can see what's happening over there? Obi knows saying some really critical things, and I feel like if you're a fan of Mo Sports and you watch us a lot, you definitely need to take Obi Knows' advice when he talks about these things, because he lives football, he breathes football. Sometimes Obi Knows dreams football. The other day he was found on the floor because he had to save, in his dreams, and he fell off the bed because Obi Knows lives, breathes football. As you can see, this is what's happening in terms of the fixtures that took place this weekend. Newcastle. Obi Knows that Newcastle game. Somebody went onto TikTok and made a video of Timo Werner's misses, and he was like, this is your 60 million euros that you spent.
Look, Timo Werner, obviously, there was a miss that I saw in the first half, and I was
So is it the one where he shot and it went through?
And it went, yes.
Yes.
Very disappointed, because the build-up to that play was incredible.
Amazing.
And he had no one in front of him, literally no one in front of him, just the goalkeeper.
There was 2 of them.
And he had 2 options, whether to slot it onto the left, and the easiest one was obviously to take it to the right, but
he took it back. The one that hurts me the most was his second option. When he came into the box, he's alone with the goalkeeper. There's a defender, 2 defenders to his right. And he decides to pass it, lay it off for someone, and he passes it straight into the... Like, as a defender, I would have went there and shook his hand and said, thank you, my guy. Thank you. Because it was a pass to the defender. The defender even had time to trap and turn around. Yeah. But we'll discuss that on another episode, maybe on Wednesday, when we have more time to talk about more analysis. So as you can see, Aston Villa versus Brighton, ending with a Brighton win of 2-1. Brighton led it from the beginning, and they finished it off with a 2-1. So basically, the likes of Adam Lallana are happy. They got the result against Grealish. Tottenham Hotspurs, Obi Knows said it. He said it with his chest. He said Mourinho's going to get one over Pep Guardiola, and that's exactly what happened. Obi Knows just adding and bolstering his predictions this weekend. He's just been on fire. I think that international break put Obi Knows into perspective. As you can see, Man United versus West Brom. Again, very disappointing result for everybody who loves football, because this result was due to a penalty. And every other chance that United had against this goalkeeper in open play was saved. Not that they missed. It was beautifully saved. That goalkeeper was on fire, Obi Knows.
A very enthusiastic goalkeeper that they have at the West Brom. He was coming back to his former team. This is a team that he came out of the development of.
Amakwal.
Yeah, it's Amakwal, and obviously him coming back to Old Trafford could be his last appearance at Old Trafford, since seeing how this team is performing. They might be, probably facing the drop at the end of the season. But, he took it upon himself to give us a great performance. He has been a very solid goalkeeper. You could see it in him in the past few games. Of course, he's conceding quite a lot. Obviously, for the team he's playing for, he's facing a lot more shots. But nonetheless, he looks like a very solid goalkeeper.
He's a solid goalkeeper.
He's got some very strong hands. He can, palm a ball away. It's so good. Like, he reminds me of Fraser Foster at Southampton, if you do remember Fraser Foster.
I remember Fraser.
A very strong goalkeeper, and that's what I'm seeing in Sam Johnston. And I think he had a very brilliant performance yesterday. Just unlucky to be on the losing side.
All right, so the honorable mentions from this side. Harry Maguire, today I gave you 5 stars out of 5 because your performance in this game was amazing. You were very influential in attack and in defense. And then let's move on to Marcus Rashford. Had a great chance to put their team 1-0 up. Anthony Martial, you owe me stars. -5. Onkolot. Because sometimes I wonder why you're still at United. Let's move on, and we see Fulham versus Everton. As you can see, Everton back to winning ways, but it wasn't an easy result for them. It ended 3-2. Calvert-Lewin picking up a brace with a goal in the first and the 29th minute to make his team pick up all 3 points. Sheffield United versus West Ham. As you can see, West Ham needed those points, and they got all 3 points with just an odd goal for the win. So far, no draws in the Premier League. Please, nobody disappoint us. Leeds, come on, get that goal. As you can see, Liverpool and Leicester kicking off at 9:15 tonight, and we'll have to definitely definitely be watching that one on Obi's little window of magical football watching. And then tomorrow, Burnley kick off against Crystal Palace. Wilfred Zaha will be looking to have just a great performance on his side in terms of how his form has been looking this season. And then Wolves will be taking on Southampton. As you know, Wolves is basically Portugal B team, and most of those players will be disappointed with not getting a chance to defend their title in the UEFA Nations League. Obinos, can you see how the table looks, or do we have to wait for tomorrow to see how Leicester and Liverpool play? So right now the table is, Obinos was clicking there, excited to see Chelsea at the top. I asked you, Obinos, I did fry you. I said, how long will they be at the top? Will it be hours, days, or weeks? And what did you say?
Ooh, Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Well, I didn't say Chelsea would stay at the top for very long, but nonetheless.
You asked if they were in the conversation, then yes, they are.
Yeah, but you were saying at your chest yesterday that they're not in the conversation.
The thing is,
I'm
I feel
wondering
like
where you stand right
I
now.
honestly feel like they're not in the conversation because when you look at throughout history in football, it takes more than at least 5 years to build a side. And what I feel like Chelsea did with this transfer window, they tried to catch up on 2 seasons worth of signings that they couldn't get, and they bought everybody else at once. And now I believe that Chelsea will be dangerous a season or 2 from now. But for now, there'll be that team in the discussion like, wow, they play such beautiful football, but they're dropping unnecessary points. And I wonder how they'll look at the end of the season. I feel like they're that team that people will be saying that basically they're Liverpool from 2016.
I think they're in a much better space than Liverpool are because they're coming from a season where they didn't have a disappointing season. I think if they are building, they are definitely building within the top 4. They're not going to fall out. Maybe if they do, they'll fall as far as 5th place. But nonetheless, I'm seeing a very competitive season from Chelsea. They're still a very competitive team, even though they've got the new players and they're still trying to gel up. But nonetheless, they've got a very, very good team. I think they're going to give a lot of teams a run for their money.
And if you look at this, the discussion is amazing. Let's talk about the top 4 before I have to lock it up. Tottenham is sitting on 20 points. Chelsea is sitting on 18 points. And then with a game in hand, Leicester is sitting on 18 points and Liverpool is sitting on 17 points with a game in hand. So if Liverpool picks up the results, they go up to 20 points and they'll definitely be taking Tottenham to number 2 based on goal difference alone. Is that goal difference, Obinos? Can you just scroll up a little bit because I'm not quite sure.
This is the goal difference.
This is the goal difference. So Tottenham will stay top. And as you can see, Leicester City will have to win. If they win, they get 21 points. So the discussion at the top is quite clear. Let's go to the bottom and see if Fulham is still occupying the relegation zone. So as you can see, Sheffield United, Burnley and West Brom are now in the relegation zone, and Fulham is just sitting on top of their hovering with 4 points registered. Sheffield United with just 1 point, Burnley with 2 points. It's like we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4 with that bottom 4. So now basically that's what's happening in the Premier League. Well, we would have loved to have the discussion further. I mean, there's a couple of players I feel like at the big clubs are letting the big clubs down. I mean, big signings, big names, big money spent on them, but they're not yet paying dividends. Harry Maguire is changing the narrative around himself as he's been the captain of Manchester United, and he's wearing that armband with a lot of pride. So sometimes we need to give a player some time to come into his own, and Obi knows definitely will agree with me on that one. Obi knows, anything you want to say before we close up?
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, Harry Maguire, we might say a lot about him. I mean, we need to take into consideration that he had a very tough start to the season. He had an incident in Greece where he was arrested, and mentally that could take a lot from a player. And he's lived up to expectations so far. Obviously disappointing here and there, but he's always coming out in better shape. At the end of the tunnel, and I think he's not worth 70 million or 80 million, but nonetheless, he's a very good player for Man United at the moment.
All right, and for Chelsea, the goalkeeper Mendy is worth every penny. So from me, Mo, Obi knows, and the control team, and everybody at Supa TV, it's a very good night for most sports. But I won't be going anywhere because I'll be back to play games with Big Fush, Dumi, and Asanda, and Obi knows. So stay tuned.